Hello, in this video I'm going to show you how to install Python in a more, let's say, professional way. This is how I saw the people having it, this is how I had it in my teams, and if you only use Python for your own personal projects, maybe there is no need to go the extra mile with this. We are going to use a tool called Pyenv, which allows you to have different versions of Python installed in your system. The reason for this is because you might have to work in different projects that have different versions of Python, and you don't want to go through all the process of trying to have the right version installing and uninstalling things. With Pyenv, you can easily switch between versions of Python as you wish. To follow this video, you need some advanced level of knowledge of the command line interface, and if you don't, I have a video for you. Just check in the description below how to become from zero to hero on the command line. The instructions here are mostly targeting Linux. I'm telling you a little bit about Mac, which is way easier to do, and I'm not covering Windows here. On macOS, all you need to do is to go here and install Homebrew. This is a package manager for macOS. It's very easy to install, just follow the instructions. Once you have that, you have to type brew install pyenv and you're good to go. Now, following the instructions, I'm going to show you now how to do that in Linux, and the configuration for your shell initialization script are going to be the same. In Linux, you can just run this command here, which what it's going to do basically is download a script from this website and run it. I had some issues with it in certain distributions. It didn't always work. So I'm going to show you here how to do it manually, so you also understand what's going on behind the scenes. Let's update our package manager. This is for Debian-based systems like Ubuntu, but if you're using another Linux distribution, well, just check out how to do the same on your particular package manager. After that, we need to install all these packages here. Well, I have a list of these down the description of this video, which also links to a blog post on my blog where you have the instructions of this video in there. So you just copy and paste and it should work. These are a bunch of packages that are needed by PyEnvironment to work. This one might take a little bit of time. Now that we are done installing the packages, we need to clone the PyEnvironment repository. In this case, I decided to clone it into a folder which is called .pyenv in my home folder. You can install it in any other place you want. This is usually where most people installs it. Now, the last thing about this installation process that we need to do is to update our shell initialization. It depends on which shell you're using. In this case, Linux is using Bash, but in Mac, you might be using ZSH. The steps are basically the same. In this case, I have a fresh installed system, so this is the default Bash configuration file. So at the end of it, we're going to add this content. Remember that you can all find this on the website, which is described on the description of this video. You have a link of it. This part here, what it does is, first of all, it's going to check that the PyEnvironment folder exists in our home. If you decided to install it in somewhere else, you have to check it here. Then what we're going to do is export this variable with the value of where we install basically the PyEnvironment. Then this here command PyEnvironment is going to check if it can't resolve, if it can't find the command PyEnvironment. It means that your path already has that in. If it does it, it does nothing. If it doesn't have PyEnvironment, if it cannot find PyEnvironment in your path, then what it's going to do is add that to your path. The reason for this is not to duplicate the entry for PyEnvironment in your path if it's already there. And then finally, what it's going to do is execute this command, which is going to initialize PyEnvironment in your system when you just log into your machine. That's all you need to do. If you now log out and log in, you should have PyEnvironment configured in your system. Let's check that, pyenv versions, and this is going to give you a list of all the versions of Python that you have. In this case, we don't have any in particular, only the system one that comes with the system. So let's install one version of Python. There are many versions that PyEnvironment control. If you want to list all of them, pyenv install. This is going to give you a massive list of all the versions of Python and Python flavors that PyEnvironment is able to manage for you. At the time of recording this video, this is the latest version. To do that, we just do pyenv install 3.12, and it's going to automatically manage to get the latest one of the 3.12. This is going to take a little bit of time.
A few moments later.
Now that it's finished installing, you just do again pyenv versions, and here we have 3.12.2. That means that this version is now installed in our system. If we want to use it and we want to make it global, basically that every time we open a terminal, we can use it. We do pyenv global 3.12.2. And now if we type again pyenv versions, you can see the asterisk is here. So this is selected. So if I type Python versions, here we have Python is now that version. If we want to install another version, it's as easy as just do pyenv install, for example, 3.7, and it's going to install the latest one of that series. Now, if we type again pyenv versions, we can see here that now we have also 3.7 installed. And that should conclude this video. Pyenv is a very useful tool you're going to find in many development environments. Many people use it, and it's going to help you a lot with dealing with different versions of Python for different projects. Now, consider subscribing, like this video, and also remember that you can support this channel through Patreon, which you have behind the scenes content. And also I can have more like a direct communication with you in case you have any questions. I can help you through there faster than YouTube comments. Thank you for watching. See you next time.